For decades, dining out was practically a national ritual. Whether it was the neighborhood diner or the chain spot off the highway, people felt comfortable ordering just about anything. But now, something's shifting. Food safety confidence is dipping. High-profile recalls make the news more often. And diners are starting to voice what many restaurant workers have noticed for years. Quality of food just isn't the same. Each year, roughly 1 in 6 Americans, that's about 48 million people, get sick from foodborne illnesses. Of those, roughly 128,000 end up hospitalized and around 3,000 die. So yes, our food can be dangerous. But beyond safety, there's another concern: quality. For many people, grabbing a bite out used to mean a treat. Good service, generous portions, food that tasted like it was made with care. Lately, though, diners and critics alike have started to wonder, has something changed? So today, we're asking a big question. Why is food quality declining? And what does it mean for the future of eating in America? Because when millions of people start saying the same thing, that their favorite dishes don't taste like they used to, it's not a trend, it's a turning point. And the truth is, the story of declining food quality isn't about one restaurant or one bad meal. It's about the forces reshaping our entire food system, one ingredient at a time.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Well,
Going.
I tell you what, today has just been a washout.
Oh, yeah, literally.
I mean, it is
It's
just
been raining all day.
It has been raining. I mean, it woke me up this morning, and it is not. It's been nonstop all
and we'll
day
be
long.
nonstop until tomorrow evening.
Oh, it's going to be raining all day tomorrow too.
Yes.
Oh,
Dang.
God, that sucks.
Yeah. How was your Thanksgiving? Was everything okay? Did you guys get to make all the...
Yeah, I ate too much.
Oh, no.
You know, it's just unfortunate. You do all this eating between now and really New Year's.
Yes.
And that's unfortunately, I go get my physical in January. So when the doctor,
He's like, you can lose a couple pounds.
the doctor draws blood, he's like, "What's going on?"
That's turkey gravy.
So, yeah, but I had a good Thanksgiving. We did the family thing, and everybody ate to their heart's content.
That's good.
So, yeah, it was a good Thanksgiving.
This was the first year where we had kind of a potluck style situation where, like, someone else had said they were going to bring a turkey, and I was like, I'm totally cool with that. So I made a couple sides, and a few of the people made some sides as well. And so we had plenty of food for everyone, and it was, I think, a lot less stressful on everyone all together, which was really nice. So it was awesome.
Well, less stress is always a good thing.
Oh, yeah, especially during
It was very
year.
quiet for Miranda and I. We had her mom over, and
Nice.
I tried, and I had done a spatchcock turkey before,
Okay.
but I did something a little bit different this time, and usually Miranda does not like white meat. She says it's too dry.
Right.
And when you cook a turkey, the breasts are so large that they have to cook longer.
Oh, yeah.
But when you spatchcock it, you're cutting out the backbone, the whole backbone, and then you flip it over and you squish it.
Yeah.
And then you flip the wings and you flip the legs around. Well, what I did was I took that backbone, still has a little meat on it and everything, and then I took the neck and all the little bag of goodies from the inside.
Yeah.
A couple of onions, some spices, and I cooked it for over 2 hours and turned it into a nice broth.
Yeah.
And then I took a stick of butter, put it in the bottom of a pan, and then what I thought would be enough broth to inject the turkey with.
Yeah.
And that's what I injected it with. And
sounds
Miranda
good.
said, that's how you cook turkey from now on. Because she was even enjoying the breasts
That's great.
and the white meat. And it was fun because we kind of did a little collab together to do it. And
Yeah.
just hanging out together. And that, for me, that was the best part, really. But
Yeah.
we came out with a good turkey. I said, baby, we need to video this stuff and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make some money too. But it was fun, and it was a good, I can't taste it, but I can always go off of how juicy it is, or, you know, the texture of the meat, and it was on point. It was fire. It was just, it was amazing.
I'm excited to hear that.
And she was just enjoying it.
My girlfriend's mom came over and she smoked a turkey, and she had a bunch of like spices and stuff on it, and she did a whole bunch of work with it. And I tell you what, when she walked in the door, you could smell. It was also, I have a picture of it. It was a beautiful turkey.
We did a dry brine.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever heard of that, but a dry brine. So it's on a rack, and it's on a big tray, and it, you know, the skin's up, and you just you wipe it dry, and then you salt it. You salt it out pretty good, and then we put it. We put it in the oven.
Nice.
In the refrigerator overnight.
Yeah.
And next time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 24-hour dry
okay.
brine, and because
sit.
You could take a knife and scrape the side. And it was just brilliant.
That's awesome.
And you know, that's before it went into the refrigerator.
Yeah. Look at that.
You know, but you could take that knife and just scratch it. And it was so good. It was just the little video where it just just you could hear it scraping.
That's awesome.
And then that skin was like a little cracker.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
The girlfriend she wanted to make an apple pie from scratch, homemade,
Nice.
and like the whole thing. So she did the pie crust, the filling. She did the fancy lattice work on top, and my mom had showed up a little bit early and was able to kind of help her out, and it was just really cool to see them two kind of, powwowing together and making that pie. And man, it turned out really, really good. And I'm not just saying that.
Was she asking for stories for you?
No.
What was he like as a 5-year-old?
No.
That's right. They work together. They get to talk to you all the time.
Talk about me all the time.
Talk about you all the time. That's right. I forgot.
And they are.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, I know. But yeah, you could always tell again how good a dish is when there's no leftovers left. I feel like, and that was the apple pie. There wasn't even a morsel left for anything else. So,
Well, that's
it
good.
was beautiful. It was great. So
I'm glad y'all have fun.
I'm glad everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
I feel like this is very appropriate. Speaking of our topic, talking about
Talking about food.
yeah, quality
Yeah.
or lack thereof.
Well, I'm like,
Well, you know what's funny about it is we're going to be talking about some stuff today, but Miranda and I's meal was 100% healthy. No chemicals, maybe the butter, but we buy special butter too. But there was no chemicals, no anything.
Right. Preservatives,
No
whatever.
preservatives, nothing.
kind of the way food was meant to be.
The way food was meant to be. And you know what was funny is we ate our fill, but we weren't just afterwards. I mean, it was kind of interesting, and it's kind of funny that we're going to talk about that in today's episode, but it was nice just to be able to eat 100% natural like it was meant to be.
Right. That's awesome.
Well, you go overseas and you eat. I talk to people all the time that came from, like, go to Italy and eat pastas and stuff like that. And it's like, it's just, they don't feel the same way after they eat it. It's sort of like
what we experienced.
It's a completely, food quality is just, I hate to say it's better overseas. And unfortunately, we used to be that way here. And
there's parts of America that are. If you go to the Mennonites or the Amish communities, they do the same thing. They cook their bread every day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way America used to be.
Right.
Until we started adding chemicals and things, which we'll get into in a little bit, to make that bread last longer.
Yeah.
Nothing in it's to make us live longer or be healthy. It's all to make the food longer, because if you cook 100 loaves of bread and you don't sell all of them, you basically have to throw the rest of them away.
Right.
So they want to keep them on the shelf as long as possible.
Right.
And that means lots of chemicals.
Right.
Right.
It's all profit margin.
That's exactly right. Follow. What do we say on the show? Follow the money.
Unfortunately,
I hate to say that, and I'm going to sound like a broken record. It all started with J.D. Rockefeller.
Yeah, he seems to be his presence seems to be around so many like critical things that happened in this country.
Well, he was one of the original ultra elites. He was one of the people that believed he was godlike, and everyone served him.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but he invented 3 meals a day.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who came up with that concept, partly to keep us fat and unhealthy. But before, in the 1800s and stuff, and before, you might eat 5 times a week. Totally.
Well, I mean, I would
there
think
was true fasting going on back then, because it wasn't because you did or didn't have. It's just the way it was.
Well, I just think just the amount of time that went into food prep. I mean, you can't eat as much. I mean, just there's only so much time in a day. And
you kill a rabbit and you go cook the rabbit and you eat the rabbit.
Right.
Now it's biscuits and gravies and pastas and everything else. And then
I could see you preparing for one big meal at the end of the day, and you potentially snacking throughout the.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So as our food system has become, more mechanized and just kind of the model that is kind of taken hold of our food production. I mean, it's just how. I mean, there's so much money now involved. I mean, I saw an article about the reduction in local farms and where meat's coming from, and
right.
Just it's all over the place now. When Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Got appointed to his current position in the Trump administration, he's catching a lot of blowback, and it's because there's a lot of vested interest in keeping things, certain things in the food. I mean, it's just mind-boggling how people would fight that.
Right.
Just you gonna stare me in the face and tell me you're taking money from this industry and this is what they're doing, and you're okay with that?
It also goes a little bit deeper, because this idea for this show came up. I sent something in our little text there that the vice president of Campbell Soup said he doesn't eat that crap. That's for poor people. And who would want to eat 3D printed meat anyway? Yeah. Because we 3D print our meat. Yeah. Now, he's subsequently been fired, and they've done so much damage control. But this is an actually recorded conversation with an employee that he fired for asking questions.
Well,
and then the employee said, "Okay, you're gonna fire me.
Yeah.
This is what you said in the conversation when you fired me."
Yep.
And the guy is like, that's for poor people. We don't eat like that. So he has this elitist attitude. Number one, of we know they not eating like this.
Right.
They don't have a hard time. It's more expensive. It's like 3 times as expensive to eat healthy as it is cheap. Oh. That's what they want. They want that. They don't want you eating healthy, because then you can revolt. And I got some statistics and some numbers on that I'll get into later, because this is really about food. But the bottom line to it is they want us fat and unable to revolt, unable to think. Because what happens when your body starts to break down? You're tired.
Yeah.
You're bloated. Your cognitive, your critical thinking goes down, and you don't want for stuff. You just want to be comfortable, and I want to be fat. And that's where they want you. J.D. Rockefeller said it. I don't want smart, creative people working in my factories. I want stupid slaves working in my factories. That's why he started the educational system. Then he buys a whole bunch of stuff. He bought the American Medical Association, started the federal school system. I mean, it's on. That's what he wants. That's what the ultra elite, this 1%, the BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, that's what they want. They don't want us realizing what they're doing. They want us stupid. And this food thing is crazy. I mean, when you look at just the breakdown of what food is today, so many years ago, what was bread?
Yeah.
Water.
Right.
Flour.
Yeast.
And that was your bread.
Right.
And now it's got, 39 ingredients, of which they're petroleum chemicals. And what are they used for? Preservatives. That's what they're for. They're not to make our lives last longer. They're to make the bread lives last longer.
Right.
And that's just it. I mean, that's just the bottom line to it. I mean, that's just, wow.
It's crazy how, like, especially, it's not so much now. Like, I feel like fast food restaurants are becoming more expensive, but like, I feel like fast food restaurants were in that same category of like being fast and affordable. Like, it's crazy how cheap it was at one point in time, where like you can get a whole bunch of food for no money, and it's like, but again, not good food, but it's a lot.
Well, look, I mean, I guarantee you. I know growing up as a kid, I mean, I remember the cereals that Trix and all these sugar laden cereal. That was terrible for you. What you were eating at McDonald's was probably not very good.
But it was still meat back then. It's not, and I need to apologize. I was incorrect. From 1900 to 1950, bread had 4 ingredients.
Okay.
Flour, water, salt, and yeast.
Salt.
We forgot salt.
That's
Oh,
okay.
dear us. How dare we forget that?
Yeah.
You know, now it contains stuff I can't even pronounce, and all but one of them have been banned in the EU.
Yeah.
A sodium carbonate bromide, potassium bromate, monoglycerides and diglycerides, DATEM, soy lectin, high fructose corn syrup, calcium probonate, mold inhibitor. Mold inhibitor.
Yeah.
Think about that one. Dough conditioners, shelf life extenders, and now a loaf of bread contains up to 35 to 39 ingredients, transforming bread from nourishment to a chemistry experiment.
Yep.
Yeah, right here it says the USDA in 2024 reported a record-breaking wave of food product reformulations. They said in 2023 and 24, manufacturers quietly changed recipes, often lowering ingredient quality, reducing real ingredients, or increasing fillers in response to rising production costs. So I mean, what's driving this is just cost too. They said in 2024, consumer panel from Food Insight found that nearly 60% of Americans noticed packaged foods tasted different, usually worse.
I agree. There's a lot of times like the packaged stuff. Ooh.
Another one, bromiated vegetable oil, BVO. Have you heard of that one? That used a lot in citrus sodas has been linked to neurological and thyroid effects. And only recently did the FDA revoke authorization for its use, but it's been completely banned in Japan and the EU because it's just so cheap to use. Yeah. You know, and then right now another one with this RFK Jr. is the food colors.
Oh yeah,
food colors or artificial food colors in Europe aren't allowed. Period at all.
Right.
It's either natural or it don't get the color.
Right.
You know, so I mean, we're waking up, but have we done too much damage to ourselves?
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped my phone.
That's okay. That's okay. It makes me also think, like, you're talking about thyroid issues. Like, how many conditions do people have, like, in the modern age that potentially are caused from, you know, ingesting this stuff? Like, we're talking about bread right now and all these different chemicals and things inside of it. Like, I wonder about people that, I know some people actually have celiac, but I know there are some people that don't technically have that, but have some sort of like gluten intolerance. You know, like, what is there actually like a condition, or is it just because the American version of that food is so hard for their body to
Well, you don't
process,
hear of
you know?
gluten intolerance in Europe.
No, of course
Anywhere.
not.
It's an American thing,
Right.
and it's not gluten. It's the chemicals that are in
That's
it.
what I'm
and
saying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm going to call a spade because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's too many chemicals.
Right.
If you go to Europe, and in the 80s and 90s, I traveled there extensively with my last job, and Jason mentioned Italy.
Yeah.
You walk by the bakery, and he's baking right there.
Yep.
Got his little cart right there, and you go and you buy the bread right there that you're going to use today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then he knows you'll be back. And so he knows about what he needs to make every day for the regulars in the area and a couple of tourists that come by.
Yeah.
and because he's right there.
Right.
He's not, Wonder Bread with 3 plants across America and then trucking it to everybody.
Right.
Because that's the problem. That's why they did this. And think about this. Flour in the original form is an amazing thing. Wheat and all of this. But what they did is they stripped it and they bleached it.
Yeah.
And then they enrich it. Well, okay, what did they take out? They took out something natural. And then what did they put back in it? Petroleum chemicals that now are your enrichment vitamins. They aren't natural vitamins. They are chemical vitamins to enriched flour.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to truck it. They don't want to, it's, we don't need that anymore. We don't need to have to ship things 2 or 3 days. Why can't we go back to just the old way and have the little mom and pop bakeries everywhere and cook natural things?
Well, that's all nice, but then these big mega companies can't make their millions of dollars. So
that again is the point.
Well, I mean, the situation is just, it's hard for the small local place to survive now. Because look, at the end of the day, and you can apply this to anything, you're always going to be looking for the cheaper thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the convenient thing, too. I don't want to have to go to the meat store and then go to the bakery and then go to this store and then go to that store. You can get it all at Walmart.
Yeah.
Everything's right there. So it's convenience, too. And I agree with you. It is, but it's also a convenience thing.
They say right now, I'm reading here, it says food prices rose faster than overall inflation.
Oh, wow.
The CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index for all food, increased by 0.4% from July 2025 to August 2025. Food prices in August 2025 were 3.2% higher than they were in August of 2024. So,
but it's also one of the things that the price will never come back down.
No,
they have all of these reasons to make it go up, but when you take those reasons away, the price of food's not coming down. Gasoline kind of goes up and down. It's not going to go back down to a gallon like $1 a gallon like we want it, but it does go up and down. But food prices don't come down.
Well, say in 2026, prices for all food are predicted to increase 2.7%, with a prediction interval of negative 1.8 to 7.5%. Food at home prices are predicted to increase 2.3%. So it doesn't look like it's going to get cheaper, everyone. It's just going to get more expensive. And as I said, I don't know what the fix is there, guys. I really don't. I know, they ran on that and make things cheaper, but I just think we're in a bad spot right now. I think we're, selling all our cattle overseas, going over to China, and which to me is horrible. The way we do food in the United States, it kind of reminds me of that series I watched on the Vice Network. It was something like, we're all going to die or type of deal, or something. I forget the actual title of it, but it was a multitude of different topics they talked about. And one of the topics was the food supply, just how compromised it is and how bad it is.
Right.
And a lot of it is because a lot of local farms have been gobbled up by these large conglomerates.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're not from here. They're out there. They're not even in the United States. And it
makes me think also, like, again, around here in the state of Louisiana, we have a lot of seafood places, or a lot of places that sell seafood dishes and things like that. And a lot of times, like, there are some restaurants that it is on paper cheaper to get shrimp and other seafood from overseas than it is to get things locally done, like in bulk and whatnot. So sometimes it'll say on the we have the seafood here that they could get, but they will a lot of times import it over.
Well, in Louisiana, I know they passed a law requiring for proper labeling. Yeah, because they were selling, shrimp and stuff coming from like China,
right?
versus here, and of course they're getting it cheaper, and
yeah.
so, and there was a lot of pushback,
Right.
because
Money.
it's a money
Exactly.
thing. It's a money thing.
But you're talking about that, and it reminds me of that, which is a very real situation that's around us physically. That's that kind of stuff where it's just crazy to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just kind of looking at some general numbers, just kind of the whole restaurant industry, food, just kind of all that together. They say 74% expect portion size cuts, 66% expect cheaper ingredients. So this is what people are expecting restaurants, what they're going to be getting when they go out to eat. They say 37% dine out less.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. It's not nearly as good, and it costs more money. It's like,
trust me. I mean, I know what I spend just going out for lunch.
Yeah.
Because I like to eat fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I mean,
you're paying for it.
Nothing for me to drop $25 for lunch.
For lunch. And lunch used to be $8 or $9.
Exactly.
You could go somewhere and get a nice lunch, $8 or $9, and that wasn't that far back ago.
I know. The first couple of jobs I used to carry around $10 cash, and I could get myself some lunch at most places. Now it's like, I mean, I'm still come up short for just one person for like some sort of lunch meal somewhere.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, we're just in a bad spot right now, and food is just one part. I mean, we've been hearing about everything right now. Is why are prices as high as they are? What is driving this off? So I mean, what is broken?
Yeah.
Where along the model line is there's a kink somewhere that's throwing the whole thing out of whack. And I think that's the challenge is really identifying
but you see,
that.
They're doing it to us, and there's a reason. And I think I've used this quote before on the show, but I'm going to use it again. In ancient Greece, slaves were forbidden to exercise, so they didn't get strong enough to revolt. Roman gladiators were fed barley and beans to keep them big, but slow, so they couldn't conquer their masters. The Ottoman Empire, drinking coffee was forbidden, so citizens didn't rebel. They actually thought drinking coffee could cause you to rebel. Spartan slaves were deliberately underfed and overworked to prevent rebellion. In feudal Europe, peasants were fed bread and oats while nobles feasted on red meat. Controlling the population starts with food and fitness. You get what's happening today?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is what they're doing. They are controlling this through our diets, through our work habits. They're keeping us slow. They're keeping us tired.
Yep, fat
They're
and lazy.
They're fat and lazy.
Yeah.
They're keeping our families broken. I mean, this is one of the oldest models that Rockefeller was using to keep the ultra elite with their slaves. That's what's going on right now. When I was researching this, and I for the first time have a stack of papers that's probably bigger than Jason.
I'm using an iPad now.
But it's crazy when you think about all the stuff we're consuming and how intentional it is. This is an intentional attack against American citizens by the ultra elite. They are doing this with intention and willfully to keep us in our place and keep us from revolting.
I'm telling you, I think it's going to happen. I think the model of cities and how we operate now, I think you're starting to see some cracks in that. I'm starting to see more people wanting to have a house with land to plant gardens. I see a more of returning to cooking at home again. Now, of course, that doesn't address of what sort of ingredients you're buying at the store, and I think that's where people have to be just kind of food conscious, looking at labels and seeing what's in there, and try to eat as fresh as possible. But I mean, it doesn't. We still have fundamental problems with the meat we eat. How full of antibiotics and hormones and those kind of things, because to source your meat from farms that don't really do that, it's going to be a lot more expensive. So, I think was one I hear advertised all the time on some of these online platforms. It's Good Ranchers, I think is the name of it. They claim their meat is sourced from local farms, where you're not dealing with these kind of mass, these big, large conglomerates that basically feed cows all this nasty stuff and to get them bigger and all that. So, yeah, I think I'm starting to see a shift on that, and I think it's starting with the millennials, and I think it's really now taking root in Gen Z, which I'm glad. The idea that boomers started, pretty much ate food at home because mama cooked. I think the food supply during that time was still untainted.
Well, I remember we had a butcher.
Yeah.
We had a baker.
Yep.
We had a little mom and pop grocery store, but
Right.
that's before they started putting all the preservatives in the. But we had a butcher. We would go get a half a cow.
Right.
It would be cut up, put up, bagged up nicely, put it in a big chest freezer.
Yep.
We had the baker. Now, Mom liked to make her bread too and stuff like that. Well, her sourdough bread. Whew, man. Real sourdough. Not like this fake sourdough you get at Costco and Walmart and all that. That's not real sourdough, people. Just read your ingredients. That's not sourdough. But, we keep touching on this, but we're not really, you have to think about it. I said, talked about ancient Greece, how they did it and how we did it. But there's one thing that's different than now to back in ancient Greece. Do you know what it is?
What's that?
I'm going to hip you to this. A population weighted down by inflammation, brain fog, diabetes, depression, autoimmune disorders, and fatigue, they're not going to overthrow anything. They're too busy surviving. They're too busy managing symptoms. Hello, Big Pharma. That's what they're too busy making appointments, filling prescriptions, arguing with insurance companies, and trying to get through one more day. Every step of the sickness cycle. The one thing that they've done now is find a way to make a profit on your sickness and your depression and your diabetes and your autoimmune diseases. Now they can make a profit on that too. That's what J.D. Rockefeller changed. Instead of just controlling us through our diet and fitness, he found a way through Big Pharma to make money off of our illnesses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pfizer has been a company for how many decades, and they've cured nothing. They haven't cured one thing.
Well, there's no money to be made in curing
That's
anything.
right. That's kind of the point I'm making. That's the difference between now and ancient Greece is they found a way to make a profit on us being sick.
That sort of thing has permeated the society. Just think of what they build now. Appliances. At one time, appliances lasted 25, 30, 40 years.
Planned obsolescence
Now,
is what it is.
Now
Planned
it's the same thing. I don't want people to be well because then what are you going to come to the doctor for? I hate to say that, but there's a lot of truth to that. It's in anything. Once you build in a profit motive, then it's always going to be a motive to keep people sick because nobody wants to stop making money.
Well, think about it. If you're I don't know if I've said this on the show before or not, but if you're the CEO of Tylenol and you go to the shareholders meeting tomorrow morning at 8:00, and you got a place full of people wanting to make money, and you walk in and you go, I got good news and I got bad news. What's the good news? Well, the good news is we cured the common cold. Okay, what's the bad news? We're not going to make $40 billion next year on symptom relief. He would be fired, if not jailed, on the spot right there.
See,
if not taken out.
That is where I think, and this fundamental motive of how do you get entities to deliver services or to deliver something for the good of humanity. I don't know. I mean, we've all got examples of people who had these sort of ideals. I mean, we talk about, there was a guy we talked about on this podcast before, was Nikola Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to what? Deliver free electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And guess what? He got squashed.
Oh, yeah.
He got taken advantage of by Thomas Edison and J.P. Morgan and those guys that were looking to make money. That's what I'm saying. How do you get things to be made that's going to truly enhance our civilization?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if it's possible, because inherently people are greedy.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of human nature. I don't know what the fix is on that. I really don't. I mean, you would think something like food safety, food quality there would be such a public outcry that it would drown out any sort of influence that might be coming from companies that may have a financial incentive to keep things just the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, it just doesn't happen. And, and look, I'm not saying you socialize everything, because I don't, I think there's problems with that, because you have to have some mechanism to motivate people to want to create and to move the ball forward, because, and I think that's where socialism fails, because it takes away the motivation. So all striving for something better kind of grinds to a halt. So the question is, where do you find that sweet spot in the middle where, yes, I want people to be compensated for their creativity and the energy that it takes to go in to think of a concept and bring that to market.
Right.
At the same time, not necessarily be, okay, once it happens, okay, I've made enough money. Now it's just free. Like, for example, I was having a conversation with somebody regarding St. Jude. I believe that any sort of things they develop and find, they push it out for free.
Oh, yeah.
To everybody.
Yep.
It's not marketed. It's not put under a patent and restricted in any way. And I truly believe that that's the way it needs to be with food. I truly do. Now, I think the only way you're going to get to where you get away from this current model of food, you just got to go back to local farms, and you've got to somehow incentivize families to become farmers.
Yeah, but every time they try to do that, what was it? The Amish community was going to sell real milk outside of their community, and the FDA come in there and shut them down, threatened to put them in jail.
Yep.
Wait, what? You know why? Because there are things in real milk that combat some of the crap that we're putting in our bodies today. And I wish Heidi Dr. Miranda was here, because she could go into it a lot better than I could. But there's things in real milk that actually dispel some of the things that we're putting in our body today too. So they don't want us having real milk.
Interesting.
And so anybody says, "Oh, I got milk for sale," and it doesn't come from, what is it, homogenized or whatever, well, they're going to shut you down. They're going to put you in jail for it.
Yeah, anytime you have that, I mean, it's like with anything, that kind of reminds me of the kind of on an unrelated issue, but on the same thing.
Yeah.
That there was some monks that wanted to offer for sale caskets, homemade. They make simple, just box type deal, and guess who fought them?
Oh yeah.
Was the funeral home people.
Of course. because that's
that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
just like with the Amish here with the milk, I mean, it's the same,
all
the same
profit.
thing. It's all profit motive, and I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my money stream.
right.
And
I've got a monopoly, and you're ruining it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the fix is on food, but our food is terrible. I mean, I would love just pull up the what would be the difference between ketchup sold in the United States versus something maybe it's sold in Spain or Germany, just to compare the differences. I guarantee you, the back of the label is going to be twice as long as what you find in a
Yes.
European product.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's just because of all the added chemicals.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, can you look that up
That's what
real
I'm doing
quick
now.
and see? I'm curious what. I know I look for, when I look for things, I look for things with the least amount of ingredients in them. I take a protein powder,
Yeah.
and one of the thing is I take a the protein powder I take, it has 5 ingredients. That's it.
There you go.
And I'm just but they got others that have a lot of stuff in them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you're not in, the one I buy is a lot more expensive
Yeah.
versus the other one that you could just gotta buy off Amazon or whatever the case may be.
Well, the biggest thing is you have to follow the money. Do you know the real reason that the government shutdown was fixed?
Oh, what was that?
Because Pfizer came out and said if the government shutdown continues, we're going to have to lay off 200 congressmen.
Okay. Okay.
And they got it fixed quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. But
It says-
that's
It
To me, it's
says
all-
it says the main difference is that American ketchup is generally sweeter and more processed, often using high fructose corn syrup.
There it is.
There it
Whereas,
is.
yeah, whereas
There it is.
European ketchup tends to be less sweet using cane sugar or beet sugar.
Yep.
The European version has simpler ingredients on the list with a higher concentration of tomatoes and fewer additives.
There it
And
is.
It says the flavor is usually for American ketchup is usually sweeter and slightly tangy, whereas it's more vinegary and complex and more prominent tomato flavor in the EU. So, anyways, yeah, you're right. More processed ingredients and high fructose corn syrup, everyone's favorite American ingredient.
I
that's in
know. I
everything.
know. Robert F. Kennedy was talking about that particular ingredient, about getting rid of it, but there's
It's in
been
everything.
a lot of pushback on
Well,
that.
that's that. Now we're talking about big corn.
Yeah.
because that's all corn right there, and it's cheap and you can make it in abundance, and that's
Yeah.
And again, you look at high fructose corn syrup and it's in everything.
It is.
It's the main. I recently have been getting some like soda, like Pepsi or other like soda brands like that don't. It's like they have some that come with real sugar in it and not like high fructose.
I wouldn't
corn
even be
syrup.
drinking that if I were you.
I know. What I'm saying is like again, not all the time, but like you can really taste the difference between the two different things. Like it's interesting how one with real sugar tastes a lot better and less processed. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I pretty much have gotten away from
I just
those
recently
kind of colas
Oh, yeah.
and stuff
I just
like
recently
that.
invested in a nice-
Maybe once in a blue moon I might have one, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, I recently invested in a pretty big, like 1 liter, thermos type thing, like water canteen, whatever you want to call it. I don't to not name any brands, but I keep it around with me everywhere, and I've been drinking a whole lot more water because of it. I feel like, which has felt really good for me, because again, for that same reason of like, I used to drink more sodas, or again around here in the South, sweet tea is
Sweet tea.
Southern sweet tea, which has a lot of sugar in it, can sometimes be a bit much, but I've been feeling a lot more hydrated as of recently because of that, which has been nice. So
This stuff is just crazy, what we're putting into our bodies. And anytime somebody wants to open their mouth and do something about it, they get completely shut down
oh yeah,
and threaten to be put in jail. but it's all the Rockefeller playbook. And I know I sound like a broken record, but this was his plan. When the government came in and shut down his monopoly on oil, he said, I will bankrupt America. I will do this. And that's why he came out with, the education system, keep them trainable, not thinking. That was his words. Food, control what they eat, control how they feel. I mean, this is a playbook that he learned from other generations. Medicine, if you control the doctors, you control the diagnosis.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And this is his whole thing. And we just bought into it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at regulatory philosophies and approved frameworks. I kind of did some research here looking between the U.S. and the EU. It said in the United States, most food additives are governed under a system called Generally Recognized as Safe, GRAS. So under this scheme, many additives may be used unless there is clear evidence they are harmful. Companies, not always independent agencies, often make the determination of safety based on existing data or history of use. So by contrast, the EU takes precautionary principle. Food additives, preservatives, dyes, and processing chemicals must be evaluated and explicitly authorized before they can be used. And if there's uncertainty or health concern, regulators may ban or strictly limit them. Yeah. So because of this, it says the number and types of allowed additives diverge significantly. The U.S. tends to allow a broader set of substances, while the EU bans or restricts many of the chemicals common in U.S. processed foods. So another difference is labeling and transparency. In the EU, additives are often labeled with standardized E numbers, a 3 or 4-digit code that correspond to specific approved additives. In the U.S., labeling uses common names, e.g., sodium benzoate, yellow 5, etc. And there is no unified additive number system like the E-number system. Yeah.
I kind of found a little pattern here in all of this. Hydrogenation made food cheap. Hydrogenated oils and things like that. Color made it attractive. HFCS made it addictive. Stabilizers made it perfect looking. MSG made it irresistible. Additives made it immortal. PFASs made it more convenient. And GMOs made it profitable. Every single one of these steps moved us away from what real food is. Because when you look at it, what's left is not real food. It's lab designated consumables built for corporate efficiency and not human health.
Right.
So now when you look at people like Bill Gates, who actually are bioengineering and basically 3D printing meat, I mean, how are we supposed to know what we're really getting?
Right.
How?
We're not.
And the FDA was designed to protect us, but just like Jason said, well, unless there's a reason to ban it, we're not going to. Someone's got to prove to us.
Right, the data has
to show that it's a problem.
Pretty definitive before we.
I mean, how many times have they banned red dye number 4? What is it? Red dye.
Red 40.
Red dye number 40.
Yeah.
They banned it twice, and they brought it back.
Right.
They banned it and brought it back. Really? The FDA is supposed to be protecting us. But if you go and you read, there's so many documentaries on this where they've proven that these FDA inspectors in these meat plants and these other plants are on the take.
Yeah.
Letting stuff go through that they're not supposed to because they're on the follow the money.
Of course.
And if the FDA is supposed to be here to protect us, why aren't they? Why aren't we holding them accountable? Who's holding the accountable people accountable?
Right.
Because if you're putting products out there that can even remotely have a chance of hurting us, their asses need to be stepping in and protecting us. They need to be kiboshing it until you can prove that it's safe.
Right.
Not that someone else has to prove that it's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they say the multinational corporations that produce, products when dealing with food. Said while European Union has strict regulations banning products such as food dyes and AV, the United States takes a more risk-based approach, allowing products on the market until a problem arises. They say major food companies responded to these different regulatory structures by creating products that may look and taste the same on both sides of the Atlantic, yet they have completely different ingredients.
Wow.
They said the European bans potassium bromate, a substance that is considered to be a suspected human carcinogen. The FDA, however, permits this ingredient in food products. As a result, many food companies in America include this ingredient in products such as bread, cookies, and pizza dough to make the dough rise higher and give it a white glow. It almost reminds me of the some of the stuff inside the Fallout universe and the Nuka-Cola and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of on a funny side of it, but yeah. I mean, it's they definitely take they're looking out for their people a lot more than we are, and I think all that.
I feel like we're like lab rats.
We are lab rats.
Yeah,
we are lab rats.
What are the experiments?
Well, it's like I said. All this started under the era of the Rockefellers and the industrialization of America, the concentration of wealth, and everything that went along with it. They have warning labels in Europe. So we don't, there are no such warnings containing dyes.
The same thing, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like, I think it's in Japan that like you can't have the depiction of a fruit on your label if there's actually no fruit juice in it. So like here in America, you can have like either whether it be concentrate or some sort of like drink, like let's say orange soda, for instance, has no orange juice in it, but you can have the depiction of an orange on it. Whereas in I think a country like Japan, I think, for instance, like if there's no actual juice in it, it has to say 0% juice on it, and you cannot have the depiction of the fruit on it for that same sort of like mental false advertising, I guess, if you want to call it that, or whatever. So
it said they talking about Pepsi. PepsiCo manufactures Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
In the United Kingdom, they manufacture Mountain Dew with beta carotene for coloring, which is a natural ingredient derived from vegetables.
Yeah.
In the American version, however, PepsiCo uses yellow 5.
Of course.
An ingredient that's suspected to cause hyperactivity in children and has possible links to cancer.
There you go.
And it's completely banned in Norway and Austria. Similarly, Skittles also changes their ingredients for food dyes in America compared to Europe.
Interesting.
So I've got one for y'all.
Okay.
There's an amino acid called L-cysteine, which is used as a dough conditioner in mass-produced breads and bakery products. What's it made out of?
I don't know.
Human hair and duck feathers.
Oh, okay.
And the FDA just allowed for a larger amount of that to be used in bread manufacturing because it basically makes the dough easier to handle, and it loosens and fluffs the dough, reducing mixing time and helps mass production of bread, bagels, and buns.
Of course, mass production.
So where do they get the human hair and the duck feathers from?
Well, I can guess where the duck feathers are coming from. But human hair, that seems like a
Well, they said they have
suspicious.
They said last year California passed the California Food Safety Act, which bans brominated vegetable oil, potassium bromate. They got some name I can't even pronounce, and read 3, 4 ingredients that are linked to cancer, hyperactivity in children, reproductive issues, and thyroid and liver problems. California also recently passed a new bipartisan bill banning the use of 6 different food dyes, including yellow 5, in public schools. On October 6, 2024, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed this bill into law. And because of the size of the California economy, this new regulation could have a major effect on how food companies manufacture their products throughout the United States. Once I give California, a lot of times we give them problems because of how goofy they are, but
Yes.
I'm with them on that.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with when it comes to these politics.
Yeah.
This right left. There are some aspects of what would be considered left that I'm very much for.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm very much for.
I had to.
Okay, that's okay.
I had to. I apologize.
You had something.
Where did they get the human hair for the bread?
Yeah.
For decades, Chinese suppliers gathered large amounts of human hair from barbershop shops, salons, hair collection facilities, and commercial sweep-up centers.
Oh, dude.
The hair was processed in chemical factories to extract the amino acid, which was then sold globally as a dough conditioner.
Wow.
That's
So
just
even
nasty.
even
That's
the hair was made in China.
even the hair was made. Thank you. Ian gets the star for the day.
Man, that's crazy.
Wow.
We can't even have our own hair in our chemicals. That's not fair.
No, you can have Chinese hair apparently in your bread, though.
That's crazy, man. Wow, that's disgusting. I hate that.
Wow. That's insane.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, but I do, to kind of circle back around, I do agree with you. Sometimes there's, we do give California a lot of flack sometimes, but things like that happen where you're like, okay, this could actually shift in a good direction where hopefully
exactly.
I would like
that.
to see things around here.
I mean, there's some things to me that should be universal across the board. Healthy food, clean water, and clean air.
Especially here.
I mean,
especially here.
We all eat and breathe.
You're right.
I mean, that's just...
I feel like of all countries in the great country of United States of America, I feel like we should have those kind of things, but I feel like
that's where I think sometimes the greed of taking shortcuts. And look, I get it, but I mean, we there has to be an awakening of what's going on, and realize that we have to come around to this idea that we all have to be here, and the goal is for everybody to live as healthy. Look, nothing's going to protect you. Eventually, all of us are going to die. I mean, you're not going to stop that.
Right.
But I'm a firm believer that if our food was healthy, and been eating that since we were children and eating that through our adult life, I guarantee we'd have a whole lot less health problems.
Yeah, that's
we
what
have
I've been
now.
saying for years. Yes,
I mean, I
absolutely.
remember whenever I was a kid, I'm not sure if it was like a TV advertisement or if it was just something that I was raised with in school, but like, you are what you eat. That was a big thing, growing up, that now it's, if you keep that up, we're chemicals and preservatives, apparently.
62% of restaurants downgraded ingredient quality.
Really?
60.
Well, now they're buying, instead of making the gravy from scratch, now they're buying the can of gravy from the Costco. You see what I'm saying? Now they've just shifted from doing it themselves to a cheaper way of just buying it in bulk.
Yeah.
And using the packets and things instead of making the gravy themselves. Like when Miranda and I made that broth, we saved it. We've got some left. We intend on trying other things with it. It was fun.
Yeah.
But
it required work.
But it required work.
Of course.
It did. It really did. And something that kind of popped into my head, we live in a society where furniture polish has real lemons, but lemonade has artificial flavoring.
I know. It's
Wait a minute.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well,
it's more healthy to drink.
Just to give our listeners out there that just kind of what's going on on the restaurant side, and of course all this is somewhat related, but I didn't know this, but it said 75% of full service turnover rate in full-service restaurants and 100% in fast food. So every year, they're replacing their staff.
Really?
Yes.
At like a sit-down restaurant?
Sit-down restaurant.
Okay.
Within a year, 75% of the staff will have turned over.
That's
and at a typical McDonald's or Burger King, 100% turnover.
Wow.
Every year.
Well, that's just because they're trying to make it. They'll go to Burger King, then they'll go to Popeye's Chicken, then they'll go to this place. They'll wind up back at McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah, 46% of Americans avoid certain chains due to declining quality.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, I don't eat fast food anymore. I haven't eaten fast food. I can't tell you the last time I actually went to a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Wendy's, or Taco Bell. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
None of them. Because I think they're all terrible.
Right.
To be honest with you, I just
they're more expensive now.
As a kid, I ate at all of them. I ate a ton of them. But
well, that is a different place from where you were a kid to where it is now.
I just don't trust it anymore.
No.
I just don't. I actually want to go to a place, and I'm not saying I'm getting the best food there, but I'm definitely getting a whole lot better than what I'd be getting at those places.
I agree.
But a lot of people have to eat there.
Yeah.
They have
well,
no
and
choice.
this is what I was saying before is like you could actually in some cases you could go to a sit down restaurant and potentially pay the same, if not, it depends on where you go, same if not a little bit more than what you would get for a fast food restaurant nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the crazy part.
Yes.
It's like there used to be a portion where like I would go out like to like sit down at a nice restaurant and it would be a little more expensive, and I would go like to a fast food place for lunch. But now it's like I may as well go spend a couple extra dollars and get a better meal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Even if it's spend a couple extra dollars, it might just be tipping somewhere.
100%.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a little local place. I'm not gonna shout them out or anything like that, but there's a local little hole in the wall place that I enjoy a lot, and I recently went there with my girlfriend and
shout them out.
And well, no, and it got to a point where I think after even with the tip, it was like $30-something, and I was like, I know for a fact that if her and I were to go like to a local fast food restaurant, we probably would have spent
at least 25.
Yeah, and I was
at
like,
least 25.
and we had a better experience with a nice waitress, and I got
that's becoming rare.
That's what I'm saying. So it was, anyways. I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, the one place I will shout out is Waffle House. I brought my girlfriend, her sister, her mom, my brother, myself, and I picked up the bill for all of us.
Okay,
A family of 5. I paid for all of us, and I want to say it was, even with a tip, it was like $60. And I was like, if I was to go have like a sit down restaurant, or if I was to go to like a fast food place, I'd be spending probably the same amount of money. And I was like, and we had a much better time at a little Waffle House with our nice waitress who was super super sweet, and I gave her a pretty generous tip, and it was like $65, whatever. And I was like, this is crazy.
right.
So anyways.
U.S. farmers are using 72 pesticides banned in the EU.
75.
72.
That's wild. Oh, 72, sorry.
72. Pesticide standards in the U.S. are much weaker than the EU. Growing evidence suggests they may cause endocrine disruptions and harm the gut microbiome.
Okay.
Livestock antibiotic use in the U.S. is double that of the EU. Presence in the U.S. food supply is monitored. Residues in the body can cause antibiotic resistance and a range of potential health problems.
Interesting.
Recombinant bovine growth hormone, I'm pronouncing that right, used to boost milk production in cows. There's a lack of human safety information, but it may impact animal welfare and the environment.
Wonderful.
Ractopamine, Ractopamine. It's a chemical added to pig and cattle feed to boost muscle growth. Due to lack of safety information, is banned in most places, including China, Russia, and Taiwan. But it's legal here.
Well, of course it is. That's crazy.
Food colorings. Red 40 is banned in the EU, and foods with yellow 6 must carry health warning. Titanium dioxide was banned in the EU in 2022 amidst concern it may cause DNA damage.
Wow.
The Center for Science in the Public Interest says studies of the 9 dyes currently approved by the FDA suggest, if not prove, that most of the dyes cause health problems, including cancer, hypersensitivity, and neurotoxicity.
I love me some good neurotoxicity. That's scary.
It's just crazy what we're putting in ourselves.
I mean, butylated hydroxyzole, BHA. I think I've seen that on label on something.
Okay, anytime you see the ATE at the end of it, eight. Hello,
Yeah.
petroleum chemical.
It's used as a food preservative and flavor enhancer, often found in fast foods, cereals, drink mixes, gum, and snacks.
Wow.
National Institutes of Health says it is reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
But this is the differences. I mentioned potassium bromate.
Yeah.
It's used to strengthen dough, make it rise. The International Agency for Research on Cancer says it's possibly carcinogenic to humans. It's also banned in Argentina, Nigeria, South Korea, India, and China.
Gotta love it.
So, I mean, it's just, we've got to get it together here. I mean, we just do. I mean, I had no idea it was this bad. That's part of the reason I kind of like doing this show, because it actually forces me to actually do some research on some of this stuff that most people wouldn't even do.
No,
and
having this conversation now, I think I'm gonna try and look more into some of my labels a little bit, and just kind of keep a better eye as to some of these carcinogens in the food, apparently, which is interesting to hear about. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
We may have to do a follow-up to this one. I think we need to plan on doing a follow-up to this one, because there's so much information about this. It's like, what do you say we do, the 10,000-foot view?
right.
There's a 30,000-foot view and a 50,000-foot view that we really need to get into about this. And I think if anybody knows a specialist or somebody that would come on the show, tell them to hit us up, because we'd love to have somebody really talk about what these chemicals are doing to our body. And there's just a lot of information. We're just nipping the little top of it.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just incredible. The information that we're finding is just what we're finding.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if somebody really knew what they was doing, could find out about this stuff?
Yeah.
We're just people trying to make a difference and inform our listeners.
Yep.
Yeah, I urge people to look at labels.
Yeah.
Eat fresh as much as you can, within reason.
Of course.
I mean, everybody's got to kind of make their budget and make it work for them. But there's got to have to be a change, and there's got to be a groundswell of people that are going to have to demand that we return the food supply back to some degree of what it used to be.
Right.
And we got to get rid of some of these chemicals. And if that means that food just doesn't last as long, well.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, as Tony had said, if you have any people you want to suggest for us, or you have any comments you want to give to us, or suggestions,
what you're doing to combat this, if you got any ideas, you got your little garden or whatever you're doing, let us know.
Yeah.
It's fascinating stuff out there.
Yeah. We got the comment sections on YouTube and Spotify where you can leave us some more short form reviews if you want to, or you can leave us your more long form responses on the email address, getoffendedtogether@gmail.com. And until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
After an episode like this, it's easy to walk away feeling a bit overwhelmed. The labels, the chemicals, the loopholes, and the industries built on keeping us fed, but not necessarily nourished. So let's pause and breathe, because every generation listening to us has lived through a different version of this story. Boomers remember when dinner came out from the garden or from a grandmother. Gen X watched food go from home-cooked to microwavable. Millennials were the first to say, wait, what's actually in this? And Gen Z, they grew up reading ingredient labels before they could read chapters in books. But here's the punchline. Every generation is now waking up at the same time. The truth isn't meant to scare us. It's meant to prepare us. We're not powerless. We're not stuck. The more we understand the system, the more we can step outside of it. Every tiny choice, a home-cooked meal, a cleaner ingredient, a seed in the ground, pushes back against the idea that we have to accept sickness as normal. So here's our challenge to everyone listening. Don't try to fix everything at once. Just reclaim one thing, one habit, one meal, one step toward the version of yourself in the modern food experiment that was never designed to handle. Because tonight isn't a warning, it's a turning point. We've seen what happens when an entire nation gets sick together. Now imagine what happens when we decide to get healthy together. Thanks for hanging out with us today. You're the best. Peace.